think I like this little life.
Hi friends, so today I have a special guest.
Hey everyone! Do I say my name?
Yes, introduce yourself.
Hi guys, my name's Najia. I'm her little sister.
Yes, so my sister is here from Michigan. She's actually trying to move to California or wanting to. So we thought it would be fun to do a podcast type YouTube video where she's asking me all the questions about my experience of moving here and how it was, so she can basically learn and figure out how to move here herself.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, who wouldn't want to live in California?
Yeah, the week you came, there was a snowstorm in Michigan. Like, everyone was posting on social media like, oh my gosh, snow in almost April. Meanwhile, it's like beach weather here.
Yeah, it was crazy because literally the week before that in Michigan, it was like in the 70s. So I can't do that bipolar weather.
Yeah. Okay, so what questions do you have for me?
I guess, what were your thoughts and feelings when you first came here with like no friends, community?
Yeah, I think that was the hardest part about moving, and I think anyone watching that has moved before, moving to a place where you don't really know people is really hard, but I am extroverted, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to make friends like ASAP. So I've done a lot of things that really helped me to make friends and community. So one of the things I already told you is go on Bumble BFF. If you guys didn't know, the dating app Bumble, they have a BFF section where you guys can literally make friends. And I have made good friends from there. The other thing that I did is Facebook. I know you Gen Zers hate Facebook.
We don't hate it. We think it's a bit out of touch.
What's out of touch with Facebook?
A little bit outdated.
You guys, I'm a millennial and I love Facebook. If I could have like one social media for life, it would be a really close call between TikTok and Facebook. And I think I would actually pick Facebook.
I mean, Facebook does have all the qualities of all the other social media platforms, but we just didn't grow up on that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think for me, why I like Facebook the most is because you can make genuine connections. Like, I feel like on TikTok and Instagram, it can be kind of superficial.
Yeah.
And people are just like overly consuming. There isn't a good way to build communities, where Facebook has all the Facebook groups.
Yeah.
And so I joined a lot of Facebook groups that were in Orange County, that were in Irvine, that were in Alisaville, like the cities I'm in California. And so those Facebook groups, they would have meetups, hangout sessions, and I got to like go to those events and meet people and again make really good friends.
Yeah.
So that's why I like Facebook. Also Facebook Marketplace, which I know I'm deviating, but I bought a lot of things from Facebook Marketplace when I moved here.
Yeah, because you literally didn't pack anything from back home.
Yeah, tell them what I moved here with.
You literally moved here with your cats in your car.
Yeah.
Like very minimal, maybe like one suitcase full of clothes.
No, I think more than one.
No, it was very, she was going the minimalistic vibes.
Yeah, we sold off everything in Michigan on Facebook Marketplace.
She is not a sentimental things when it comes to physical things. I mean, you really like pictures. You brought all your photo albums.
Yeah, I brought, of course. You're in a printed photos.
I mean, hey, to me it was a close call. I thought you'd sell everything.
I know, and Nadia was like trying to get me to keep things when I was packing, like, you don't want this? Oh my God, you're getting rid of this? I'm like, yeah, like.
Yeah, I really wanted that keyboard.
Yeah, so I had, I bought Zee a piano keyboard and I got rid of it. But, okay, let's go back. So Facebook, I love it because I was able to make friends. And then the last way I made friends was a WhatsApp groups. So again, if you guys are not familiar with the WhatsApp, it's one of those things where once you figure it out and once you get into like one or two communities that's local, then I swear, before you know it, you're part of 100 WhatsApp group and your phone is blowing up. It's like nuts. So you have to be careful because then your phone is buzzing like all day long. But I discovered really good WhatsApp groups, especially in the Muslim community, where like it was like young professionals at the mosque that I started going to, or just SoCal hangouts, like things like that, it was mainly Muslim community oriented, so I made friends.
I have a question. So these groups on WhatsApp and Facebook, what is the age range? I mean, I don't want to say fear, but hesitation when it comes to joining these groups is finding an older crowd. I mean, definitely I can still relate to mid to older 20s, but that's what I typically find people who are on Facebook or those type of group chats. So I guess my question is, where can I find a younger crowd?
Okay, so for anyone watching, my sister is 10 years younger than me, so she's 21.
I'm a true Gen Z.
And I'm 31, so I'm a true millennial. Okay, so I feel like Facebook is all over the place because there's like a few Facebook groups in Irvine, like Irvine Girls or Irvine Hangouts. And honestly, like me and my friends, we were talking and saying that there's so many younger girls on a few of the Facebook groups, like all Gen Zs. But it is a mixture because then there are women on there that are 40 years old, some even 50. So I think it's a mixture, and when people throw an event, Facebook, you can see who's going. So you can kind of scroll through and see who's going to figure out how old they are. So yeah, like I said, I think it's a mixture, but some groups or some events definitely have more Gen Zers versus millennials attending.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, noted. I mean, it's been almost a week, I think exactly a week since I came from Michigan, and I've been joining the groups, and like she mentioned, my phone has been blowing up. I think the next step is actually going to these events, so I will definitely try that out.
Okay, let me know how you like them.
Hopefully, I don't know. This is exciting. So one of the biggest reasons why I came out to California is to network. That's my main goal here. So I guess professional-wise, did you find a professional crowd networking? Was it easy for you to enter that space?
I think it was. So I didn't meet too many pharmacists. So I'm a pharmacist by background. I don't think I met too many pharmacists per se because I wasn't like just looking for pharmacists. But in California, you need to like have a decent career and make decent money to survive.
Definitely.
And like live here because it's so expensive. So most of the people that I met anyways, they are young professionals. Like they have a career, they have a good job. So even though I would go to these like hangout events, like a lot of people were professionals. So I guess I'm networking.
Yeah.
I joined a really good gym. That was the last way I made so many friends, and I actually took Najia to my gym.
Yeah,
what do you think about it?
So far, majority of my Californian friends are gym goers.
Yeah.
I love the gym. That's something that's not, what is the word? That's not...
Describe what you're trying to say.
Like, it wasn't something that was unknown to me because back at home, I was already, I was going to the gym every single day. So going into a space that I felt comfortable in was a great way to network because I felt like myself. It didn't feel too hyper stimulating of like, oh my God, everything's new, the people's new, the place is new, I don't know what to do. One of the main hurdles that I kind of face right now is social anxiety, and so the gym really helped because it wasn't an unfamiliar place. That was the word.
And I feel like the gym is a very casual place to make friends.
Yeah.
Like these networking events, it's not as casual. Like people are going there to meet people, and so I feel like you can get really anxious with the expectation, like, oh my God, I gotta meet someone. Like,
I gotta keep the conversation going.
Yeah, where at the gym it's like, hey, how was your workout? Oh, great. Like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just very chill, and if you click with someone, it's like wonderful, and there you go, you have a new friend.
Yeah, no, I can definitely agree.
Okay, so what other questions do you have?
Let's see. So, I mean, you came here with your new business. How did you integrate or introduce your new businesses? Did you just, every time you went to these new hangouts, say, hey, I have this company, or how did you go about that?
Yeah, so whenever I would like hang out with someone or go to an event, like people are just naturally curious, like what do you do? What's your background? And so I was able to just organically share with them, hey, I'm a pharmacist by background. I started my own company that focuses on holistic healing. I sell supplements. And so I was able to just organically say, yeah, you know me, I think it's so cringe when someone like tries to push their products and their business onto someone. So I never wanted to do that. So I would just tell them what it is. And some people were so curious, like, oh my gosh, I need help with sleep, or I have anxiety. What do you recommend? And then I would be able to help them out and get that new customer. But like, if they didn't ask me any follow-up questions, I would just move the conversation along.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess my next question would be, what are the best activities for group hangouts or even like meeting someone for the first time, first hangouts? Personally, I can't just have a meal. I have to do something, or then I start getting awkward.
So now she has really bad social anxiety.
I really do. I don't know. It was the pandemic. Something shifted in me chemically, energetically in my head, and suddenly I don't know how to socialize. So yeah, what is something other than just having a meal? What worked the best for you?
So I think everyone should do what they like to do. So I love to walk and hike or go to the beach, and those are very common activities around here. And I wanted to make friends with people
With
that
common hobbies.
exactly common hobbies that like to do what I like to do. So most of my hangouts, like if I'm meeting someone for the first time from Bumble BFF, it's like, hey, you want to go for a walk? And like
that's
we
nice.
just go for a 1 hour walk, and it's very casual. There's no commitment. You're busy walking, even if the conversation's like not popping or like there's some moments of silence. It's okay because you're trying to
enjoying
catch
nature,
and you're trying to catch your breath or something like that, right? Because you're
Yeah.
hiking or walking. So I really like to do that. Or like I did grab coffee with some people, but I feel like honestly, I feel like grabbing coffee is trickier. I'd rather grab a meal because when I grab coffee with someone, you can end up kind of stuck at the coffee shop for like longer than you want to be, and you don't know how to say, okay, I gotta go. Where at least if you're eating a meal, it's like the meal's over, and then you can say, okay, well that was great. Like I like meeting you. We had fun. Bye bye.
Yeah.
Where you can finish your coffee and still sit there for another hour or two, and you're like, oh my god, how do I get out of this?
How do I exit? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, those are great. Oh my god. I know that you joined a lot of niche groups like spearfishing and surfing. I mean, you started a lot of new hobbies I didn't have or didn't have access to back in Michigan.
Yes.
What piqued your interest in those areas, and also how did you know what to join? I mean, was it just through mutuals, or did you like join new groups, or how did you infiltrate those type of groups?
Yeah, great question.
Because I know the surfing community, they're very close knit.
Yeah, and there's a huge surfing community in Southern California. So when it came to surfing, I did join groups. Like there's this huge group called like girls like learning to surf, or girls that don't know how to surf, or no, girls who surf. I think that's the group. So I joined that, and there were like local people. And then I went on Facebook trying to look for an Orange County based surfing group. Surprisingly enough, I couldn't find one. Like if you guys Google it, there isn't one. So then I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna start my own surfing group. So I literally started a surfing group called Surfing in Orange County on Facebook.
Awesome.
And I have grown that account so much. Like there's hundreds of members in that group, and I used to have like weekly meetups or like surfing sessions. I would just post in there, hey, who's free to go surfing Saturday morning? And whoever's free, they would come, and I made a lot of friends through there. So that was amazing. And then I feel like when you start surfing, then when you meet people in other settings, you quickly find out who else is a surfer.
Yeah.
And then you kind of come together with that common interest. But with spearfishing now, that one was more of an interesting one because I saw spearfishing on, I think, YouTube. I read an article about it that the LA Times released, and I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. I want to get into it.
And this was after you learned how to surf?
Yeah, this was after. Because I got into surfing that first summer when we moved here, and then the second summer, which was last summer, I was like, okay, well, I want to try something else now. And I didn't give up surfing, of course. I just wanted to add on to it. And surfing and spearfishing is such a complementary sport because when the waves are flat and you can't surf, that's a great time to go spearfishing.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, and then when the waves are big, you can't go spearfishing. It's harder, but it's a good time to go surfing.
Right.
So what I did with spearfishing was like really smart, if you ask me. So I read that LA Times article, and it was featuring a spearfisher. Her name is Mitsuki, and how she speared. She currently has a world record for spearing the largest white sea bass.
Oh wow.
As a female. Yeah, and like this white sea bass
And
was
they're
literally,
huge.
it was the size of her.
Oh my god.
Like she laid the fish next to her and took a picture. It was literally the size of her. It was wild.
In these Californian waters?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And she caught that one from like shore diving, which means like she just walked into the ocean. Like she didn't have a boat or something that
my
she took
gosh.
somewhere. Yeah, so it was so impressive. So I saw that and I was like, how can I learn? And so I, of course, Googled her name on Instagram. I found her and I did message her like, hey, I read your article. It was so cool. Like, I want to get into spearfishing. I would love to connect. But she didn't reply back to me. But then, like, I found so many other, like, just through that Instagram search, I found so many other spearfisher.
That
like,
are local to the area.
Exactly. And so I think I messaged like 4 or 5 others with that same thing, like, hey, I see you spearfish. It's such a cool thing. I just moved here. I would love to learn how to get into this sport. You know, just wanted to connect. And no one replied back to me besides this one girl. Her name's Jackie, and she's so sweet. So she replied back saying, oh my gosh, me and my friends, we're going lobster diving tonight. Why don't you come out and you can see how we do it? And I'm like, okay.
I actually remember this on your story. You were like, oh, I think we were on the phone and you were like, I'm gonna share my location. I'm going to meet a group of strangers in the middle of the night at the ocean. So talk to you after, I'll tell you how it goes afterwards.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, and I was like, if you don't hear from me by the morning time, I probably got kidnapped. So if you guys didn't know, people go lobster diving typically at night because that's when the lobsters come out of their holes to like feed, and so it's easy to grab them. Where if you go lobster diving during the day, they're in the caves in the holes and they're just hiding.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I was just like, okay, I'm gonna go. And I literally just went, met her up, and funny enough, her friend that she was spearfishing with or lobster diving with was Mitsuki.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
What
So-
a small world.
So then Mitsuki came and I got to meet her, and Mitsuki's like, yeah, I saw your message, but I didn't know if you were like actually serious about spearfishing, and I just didn't want to waste my time with like people that weren't serious, so I didn't reply. But now that you're out here, like, you know, and I see you message other people, I know you're serious. And so I became friends with Mitsuki after that, and we went on a 5-day sailing trip to Catalina Island on one of my surfing buddies' sailboat.
Oh, wow.
So I met this other dude. He's super cool, and he has a big sailboat, and he doesn't really spearfish, but he's more of a surfer. But he was like, yeah, let's go out on a spearfishing trip to Catalina. So we did that.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, did you ever go through any burnout with like trying to stay connected? Because I know it takes time and also commitment building a friendship or relationship. And so did you ever feel burnout joining all these different types of group, hiking groups, surfing, you know, spearfishing, even like the Muslim SoCal like group chats? Were you ever like, oh my God, so many people are messaging me, like I'm gonna respond to everyone, but like I feel doomed, or like, did you ever feel that?
Yeah, I would get anxiety over replying. Like, you guys, I am not good at replying to text messages or messages.
I think it's genetics, because I'm the worst. If my social anxiety was bad, it's also like I get this huge sense of like doom when I get all these like messages back to back from different things, whether that's work or social. It's like, oh my God, I committed myself to like XYZ, now I have to go through with it, but then it gets overwhelming sometimes.
Yeah, I definitely felt overwhelmed. So honestly, what I ended up doing, because I joined, like I said, like I think probably 30 WhatsApp groups. And for anyone watching that's in Southern California, if you want to make friends, like feel free to leave a comment below. I will be more than happy to send you some of these links or recommend some groups on Facebook or whatever that might align with your interests. So I did get a little overwhelmed. So then the groups that I was really resonating with, I kept them, but then the other groups I archived on WhatsApp. So like so for example, there was like a ladies of Aliso Viejo group, and a lot of these ladies were older, like they were mothers or, you know, just older, like 40, 50, 60. And so I wasn't resonating as much with that group, and so I just archived it. But then the other day, I posted in there like, hey, I know it's Ramadan and I'm looking for friends to go to the mosque with, like who wants to pray with me at night. Is there anyone that's Muslim in here that's also going to pray or would love to go with you? And so I knew that was a good group for me to post that in, because they were in Aliso Viejo, so we're going to the same mosque, like right here. And with the crowd being a little older, I figured they would put more importance on going to prayer every night versus maybe someone my age or younger, because it's hit or
young
miss.
professionals, they have work in the morning. Sometimes they can't make every night. That's
Yeah,
understandable.
more commitment.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I just archived some of them, and then like I said, I'm still bad at replying back. It is overwhelming. It's like anxious for me because when I reply back to a text message, it's like then they reply back, and I have this pressure to keep the conversation going, and
Yeah, definitely.
then it's like overwhelming.
Yeah, no, I can see how that can be overwhelming.
And I'm busy too. Okay,
Yeah.
let's not forget, you guys. I am running a company. I have rental properties that I'm managing. I was studying for my pharmacy board exam in California, which
she passed last month. Woo!
yeah. So I was busy with that, and then I'm going through IVF right now. I'm busy with that, so it's like, and I have a huge social circle as it is, and like I'm so grateful for that because this month of Ramadan, like every single weekend, I was invited to an iftar dinner. And I'm so blessed that I made all these friends that are inviting me to their homes. It's like such an intimate setting, but like they love me enough to do that. So yeah, I'm just so busy. That's honestly why I'm not the best texter.
Yeah.
Because that gives me anxiety because it's more on my plate.
Yeah. I guess kind of diving a little bit deeper with this question, with the core friends that you deeply resonated with, did you have troubles or anxiety with maintaining or building the relationship you have today? Was it hard getting there?
Yeah, definitely. Because, you know, when it comes to deep, close friendships, you're not going to form a close friendship by hanging out with someone 3 times. Like,
Yeah.
you have to keep hanging out with them to learn who they are so they can learn who you are to form that deep bond. And so the first year, it was very lonely for me because even though I had all these new friends, like I had so many new friends, I didn't have any close friends.
Yeah.
I didn't have any best friends. So with all these new people, if I was going through something like really private that I didn't want to share on social media because it's so private, or I wanted a friend just to like get their opinion, I didn't have too many of those close friends to share that with here, which sucked. But, you know, over time, like I said, after hanging out with people multiple times, then I figured out like who's my person and who I bonded with, or
Yeah, where's your community?
exactly. So then I put more energy into those friendships.
Okay, was it expensive?
Too?
I know like California can be pricey. I mean, eating out easy can rack up to like 80 to $100. So was it expensive? I mean, you did mention walks and hikes, and you know that's free, but you mentioned spearfishing and you know buying equipment or learning how to do that. That can be pricey. So
Yeah.
did building new friends be pricey, or is it worth the investment?
I feel like California, like you said, there's a lot of free things to do year round. Like in Michigan,
Yeah.
it's snowing for 6 to like sometimes 7 months out of the year. So you can't just text a friend and be like, you want to go for a walk in the middle of winter. Like
Yeah.
you can't. You
No
have to
one's
go
gonna do
out.
that.
Yeah, like you have to go out to eat or something. Where in California, you can do outdoor activities all the time. So making friends can be as cheap as you want it to be. You can just do a lot of beach hangouts, a lot of walks. But like spearfishing was really expensive. That's just an expensive hobby. And for anyone that's even thinking about getting into it, like I think you would have to spend at least $2,000 to buy all the equipment.
The starter equipment.
Yeah, and I bought like the better equipment because I didn't want to
I
buy.
mean, you already had the wetsuit from
No,
surfing.
I had to buy a different wetsuit
Oh.
for diving, and I got that custom made, and it was over $500. Just the
Oh.
wetsuit for spearfishing, and then I had 2 other wetsuits for surfing, like a thinner one and a thicker one. And same with like spearfishing, people usually have 2. So
Yeah.
if you have 2 suits, right there, it's $1,000.
Oh my gosh.
And like the fins that I bought were another $500. So I did buy like the best of the best kind of equipment because I didn't want to buy something cheap or something meh, and then I would have to upgrade in a year or 2. I was like, let me just get the best, and then I'll hopefully have it for years.
And get comfortable with the equipment. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess, do you have any advice for me? Coming from, you know, the East Coast to the West Coast, what would you recommend I kind of get into? Especially because right now is Ramadan. Like, I would love to be at the beach more and do hikes more, which I definitely am starting to, on a very slow, gradual pace. But what would be your advice for me?
Yeah, I would say just like go online and form some friendships online, and then you can, once Ramadan is over in like 2 weeks,
Yeah.
you can start scheduling hangouts. But like you wanna at least make those initial conversations online and have a list of people that you can then meet outside of the groups. So I think that would be the best thing for you to do, and just get plugged into different groups. So like just seek out what groups you're interested in, like what hobbies you want to learn or get into, and just seek out those groups, because doing research to find appropriate groups for like your age, for your similar hobbies, it takes time.
Yeah.
And then the last advice is definitely save as much money as you can, because it's definitely really expensive here. Like coming from Michigan, that was a very cheap state.
Yeah. Relatively.
Yeah, compared to California and New York,
Yeah.
like Michigan is a very affordable, cheap state. It was a little shocking to see how expensive everything is here. So I would say just save as much money as you can.
I will. The first step is to get a job, so I am on that track.
Yeah, so it's good that you're here because you can go to in-person interviews, and I think companies like that when you're local versus if you're applying from somewhere else.
Yeah, because then for them it's another added headache of, oh, we need to do
Relocation fee,
Yeah.
like we might have to pay her, or to relocate, things like that. So it's good that you're here, and then you can also meet them in person and see the energy. Or if you're applying for a company, maybe they'll give you a tour of their office or their factory or whatever it is, and you can really figure out if this is somewhere you want to work.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, if you guys have any other questions about moving here, or the process, or how I like California compared to Michigan, and I think we should maybe do a video on like pros and cons of living in California. So if you guys are interested in that, like let us know below, because if you guys aren't interested, we're not gonna make that video. So yeah, any other closing thing you have to say?
I mean, towards the end she mentioned the financial aspect of things, and I think that would be that's a hint towards our next podcast theme, which is finance and how to adult. So if you are also interested in that, please leave some questions down below on just, very surface level financing questions or savings, or just how to adult.
Yeah.
Because I'm definitely leaving that student life, and she's been immersed in adulthood, so I'm definitely going to be transitioning into that new role very shortly.
Ooh, bills.
Bills and mortgages and taxes and you name it, I'll have to stress about it.
Yeah, and I think one of the things we'll talk about in that video is real estate and how to buy your first house, how to buy rental properties. So I get that question all the time on Instagram and on TikTok. Everyone's like, how did you buy all these rental properties?
And definitely that first property, that first house, there's so many benefits out there that she's given me guidance on. So there's a lot of meat and potato to get into for that topic.
Yeah, so subscribe if you haven't. Like this video. Let us know what questions you have, or let us know how you like it, and share it with a friend.
Thank you, and loving the Sunshine State.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.